On Inside Track this week, Mark Levine, principal at EBMG, talks about an app called Slack and how it helps him tame digital overload.
One of the problems that I have as a property manager, and you could have this either as a single property manager or as a portfolio property manager, is the excess of emails, telephone calls, and texts from one board in general to the property manager or even with themselves. So a lot of the time what we'll have is just an insane amount of information, and you have to bounce between devices, and a lot of the things that you want to speak about or the important topics could get lost in the shuffle because you're everywhere but you're nowhere at the same time. So one thing that we've been doing with our clients and internally to our company as well is we use a tool called Slack. And it's available for free. It's an app at slack.com or through the App Store, and it's on your iPhone, it's on your iPad or your Android tablets, and also on your desktop. So it's basically you set up a team and you can name it your buildings team. You invite all of the property managers / board members that are on your team, if you will, and you set up different channels in the application. So for me, when I set up a building, I actually do it where I'll set up a channel for heating or for proposals, for board agendas, for board meetings, and I'll put the actual dates in there. You can upload documents, and from my perspective, it's one place where we could talk about all of the important things in the different open channels or closed channels. And the closed channels are actually password protected and only the people that are invited. So maybe you have an executive committee, they could actually be limited to the people that have access to those channels, whereas maybe the landscaping channel has everybody for input. And you get alerts on your phone or you get alerts on your desktop, and you'll see exactly which channels have updates. But what's really interesting is also it's a tool for direct messaging. So you could have one board member talking straight to another, that's private conversation, or you could loop in other people into a group setting as well. So it's a real interesting tool, and beyond just the board aspect to it, if there's a company that I have a lot of dealings with, let's say an architect where I'm working on, let's say 15 projects with right now, I have a dedicated Slack team for my company and their company, and instead of channels that have interesting things for boards, I have channels that are dedicated to specific buildings. So I could be talking to one architect for 10 minutes, but we could be bouncing between 4 different buildings and 4 different channels. We don't get confused, and it's a great way to keep track of the different projects and buildings that we're working on. And you can do everything through there. You could upload documents, you could download documents, you can share calendar invites. You could actually, if you have it on your phone, both of you, you could initiate a telephone call through the app, and it'll kind of message you, real time by audio. So there's a lot of different uses, and it's going to cut down on hopefully the frequency that you're emailing, because everything's going to be right there and there's not going to be as much back and forth because you won't be as confused.